The investigation continues in Northwest Indiana after the body of a woman previously reported missing is found in an East Chicago home.
WGN's Courtney Spinelli is sharing details on what led investigators to that home.
Investigators say they came to a home on this block earlier this week to execute a search warrant. During that, it was an overwhelming smell that led them to the body of 30-year-old Clarissa Almodovar.
This is a tragic story for us because we've never had anything like this happen over here.
Sally Rivera has lived in this neighborhood almost her entire life. Like many others, still in shock days after police made a grim discovery several doors down.
It was an eye-opener.
East Chicago police say its gang and narcotics investigators were working with the Lake County Sheriff Warrant Division to find a wanted man. Tuesday morning, police say they found not only that man, but also the body of a woman identified as Almodovar, reported missing in January of 2023.
And I pray for the family, and hopefully now they can just go along, just live their life not wondering where she's at.
According to police, there was a strong and foul odor coming from the basement. What they saw, a bed covered with clothes and maggots, and after getting a search warrant to search the home, they found the 30-year-old's body under a pile of clothes in the basement.
It's just sad. It's just really sad that, that happened to her.
At the scene, police did take 2 persons of interest into custody. Rivera says she knows most of her neighbors, but she doesn't know the people in that home. We knocked at the door Friday, but nobody answered.
There were not people that talked to the neighbors and stuff, so that's probably why nobody paid attention. It's not like you see who comes in and who comes out normally.
Sources identifying the man that was the subject of the warrant arrest, but we are not naming him since police haven't called him a suspect in the woman's death, where the cause and manner is also still not known. According to court records, he was wanted for taking off from police, eventually crashing a car that was not his before bailing on foot. As the investigation continues, neighbors say they hope Almodovar's family can get some answers.
If it was like my sister, I would always be wondering where she was. At least now she's at rest.
The results of Almodovar's autopsy are still pending, and officials have not yet said whether they do believe her death to be suspicious. The Lake County Prosecutor's Homicide Task Force is handling the case now. Family says the mother of 5 was friendly, outgoing, and lovable. They're obviously extremely devastated by this news. Reporting in East Chicago, Courtney Spinelli, WGN News.
Well, that's gorgeous. The sun setting in Chicago on a Friday evening, and we have finally made it to the weekend. It's looking mild and sunny, too.
That is a pretty shot, and we've got Alyssa Donovan in for Tom Skilling tonight. Hi, Alyssa.
Hey, Ray. Hey, Mike. A beautiful shot. We saw a break in those clouds this afternoon, so we did see some sunshine. Started cloudy this morning, but then that sun did appear. A beautiful day, and we are going to continue to trend up as we head towards the weekend. Today was a little bit cooler than we were yesterday. That's because we had that cold front pass through overnight. Temperatures across the area still above average, though. 42 at O'Hare, Midway as well, 38 at the lakefront. Current winds right now out of the northeast off of the lake. We're seeing those about 10 to 15 miles per hour. That's creating a bit of a lake breeze along the lakefront. That's why we do have these temperatures that are just a little bit cooler at this hour. We're in those mid-30s along the lake, 34 at the lakefront right now, 33 up in Waukegan. The rest of the locations inland, those are in those mid and upper 30s still. We're going to continue to see this trend over the next few days where we see some of those cooler temperatures right along the lakefront. Temperatures going to continue to subtly climb as we head into early next week, and we are going to see plenty of sunshine this weekend. That's the good news. We really have a nice, quiet, and dry forecast ahead. I'll have more details coming up in the full forecast.
Thank you, Alyssa. Well, new complaints tonight about Dalton's Mayor Tiffany Henyard. Village trustees raising questions about her large security detail in the wake of a wild shootout Wednesday morning.
WGN's Julian Cruz is at Village Hall now with the latest.
Good evening. Henyard's extravagant spending at 5-star hotels and first-class travel on expensive out-of-state trips first uncovered on WGN Investigates. The new scrutiny as the controversial South Suburban mayor announces a $1 million giveaway on Facebook.
$1 million giveaway. Do you know anything about that?
I'm not sure of anything like that.
Dalton resident Andrea Smith and others we talked to puzzled by this Facebook post with a smiling Tiffany Henyard, the mayor of Dalton and Thornton Township supervisor, touting a $1 million giveaway.
Our administration will be one of transparency, accountability, and compassion.
Dalton's mayor since 2021, nowhere to be found this afternoon at the Village Hall. Calls for comment to her office, and the village administrator failing to shed light on the nature of tonight's $1 million giveaway.
It's just a sad day that we had to witness this.
As village trustees raise concerns about crime in the south suburban community of about 20,000.
I will hope that we get more police that's actually on the street.
Board trustee Kiana Belcher earlier this week deeply concerned about a dangerous shootout Wednesday morning on Sibley and Minerva, sending at least 4 to the hospital. Belcher and other board members concerned about police manpower.
It happens everywhere, but we're just hoping that more police on the street would have been better.
Belcher and others pointing to what they say is the mayor's unusually large police security detail, said to include 4 to 5 squad vehicles or large unmarked SUVs like Secret Service transport vehicles, a witness telling us. Senior trustee Jason House in a written statement preferring to see those police vehicles fighting crime. It is my sincere hope that the mayor will begin prioritizing the safety of our community, House says, by allowing more officers to patrol the streets of our great village. We tried to reach Mayor Henyard for comment a full 3 days after Wednesday's wild shootout on Sibley Boulevard, and no word from the mayor's office or the police chief on this terrifying incident. No details on the number of people who were shot or if there have been any arrests, all despite repeated requests for comment. In south suburban Dalton, Julian Cruz, WGN News.
A single-engine plane crashed into a mobile home park in Florida last night, killing the pilot and 2 people on the ground. The pilot reported engine failure shortly before the plane went down. It slammed into a waterfront home in Clearwater, where a group of people had gathered after a day of golf. Flames from the crash spread quickly and damaged 4 nearby homes. Community members say they're still trying to come to grips with this tragedy.
I couldn't sleep good last night. I mean, it was bad. It was bad. It's a very tight-knit community. Everybody kind of knows each other. God bless them.
Federal officials have launched an investigation into the crash.
Closing arguments in the case against the Michigan school shooter's mother in the precedent-setting trial.
Senators move forward on the efforts to reform the immigration system.
The cybersecurity issue still impacting Lurie Children's Hospital, leading to more canceled appointments.
This is Chicago's very own WGN Evening News at 5.
Closing arguments today for Jennifer Crumbley, whose son carried out a deadly school shooting in Michigan in 2021. Ethan Crumbley is serving a life sentence for killing 4 students and injuring 7 others at Oxford High School. Jennifer and her husband both charged with involuntary manslaughter for making the gun accessible to him. Jennifer testified she didn't know her son had mental health struggles. The jury will begin its deliberations Monday.
In Washington, the Senate has reached a bipartisan deal they say will overhaul the U.S. asylum system while extending aid for Israel and Ukraine. Senators could vote on the bill next week, but it's already facing major resistance in the House. Part of the bill would reportedly call for mandatory border closures when crossings surpass 5,000 a day. But Republican hardliners say the president already has executive authority at the border, so the bill, they say, is unnecessary.
We're not going to agree to a fix that doesn't actually solve the problem.
Let's see the bill. Let's understand the text. Let's make sure that it actually secures the border.
Senators say they will release the bill's full text by Sunday.
And Alyssa's in for Tom tonight. Looks like it's going to be a nice weekend.
Yeah, we are really going to see some nice weather over the next several days. We have sort of this blocking pattern in place. It's good news for us.
Yes.
We're going to see a lot of sunshine. Those temperatures are going to be above average. Really just a really nice few days ahead. So pretty good forecast for us. Today was a little bit cooler than what we saw yesterday, but those temperatures were still well above average. We started out with all this cloud coverage this morning, but then we did see a little bit of break in those stratus clouds as we hit the afternoon hours. And this evening we did see a really beautiful sunset out there. We're going to continue to see partly cloudy skies as we head overnight, and then tomorrow we'll see more sunshine in the forecast. Right now, just a few clouds still lingering around at this hour. We're going to continue to see those temperatures just dropping into those mid and low 30s, so still above average for this time of year. We received 56% of our total sunshine today. Normally, we're a little bit less than that, so doing pretty good with that sunshine across the area. We are going to continue to see that sun into the forecast for the next several days, and I'll explain why in just a moment. Right now, 35 at O'Hare Airport. We have these light northeasterly winds. Those temperatures about 5 to 10 degrees cooler than we were at this time yesterday. Our high today, 41 degrees, so above average for this time of year, and we are not alone with that. Most of the central U.S. about 15 to even 20 degrees above average for this time of year, and that's partially due to our weather pattern that we have set up. We have this high pressure that's in control right now, and you can really see that on our our satellite and radar. We are going to continue to see that in control for the next several days, but just off to the west coast, we have all of this atmospheric moisture that's moving in that really hit the west coast the past couple days, brought plenty of rainfall, and they're in for another round of that as we head into the weekend. So while we're seeing some dry conditions, the coast is going to see this wetness come into the forecast. We're going to see that atmospheric river really impact the Bay Area. That's where they're looking at several inches of rainfall, while we are going to continue to see extremely dry conditions. They're looking at anywhere between 3 to 6 inches of rain in the forecast. And here's our setup. So we have high pressure in control and low pressure just off to the southwest, and we have a blocking pattern in place. So that high pressure is going to stick with us for the next several days until the middle of next week, and then that low will get cut off and move across the south central U.S. and into the southeast U.S., but really going to steer clear of our area because that blocking pattern that we have in place, it won't be able to get to our area. So while we're going to continue to see the west coast, south central and southeast see some active weather, things are going to stay very quiet for us until the middle of next week. So we're going to see those clear skies as we head into tomorrow, clear skies as we head into Sunday, and then we'll start a bit of a warming trend as we head into early next week. Right now we have these northeasterly winds about 10 to 15 miles per hour. That's creating a little bit of a lake breeze along the lakefront. That's where we have those temperatures in those low 30s right now. The rest of the area inland still seeing some 40s right now. 43 in Morris, 41 in Joliet, it's 37 in Rockford. Temperatures overnight tonight going to fall into those low 30s. Typically we're in the teens this time of year, and we're going to stay above average for the next next several days. So we're going to be in those low to mid 40s next week, and by Wednesday, close to 50 degrees. We're going to be about 15 degrees above average, and then we really start to climb after that. So we're going to be above normal for the next 6 to 10 days, with those temperatures into the 50s by the latter half of next week. And we're going to stay dry during that period as well. Not going to see that Rex block really break down until the middle of next week. And then Thursday night, that's when we finally see a chance of some rain in the forecast. That's going to happen late Thursday, lingering into Friday. So we do have a pretty dry stretch ahead. Temperatures tonight going to be into those low 30s, partly cloudy skies, and those winds fairly light out of the east-southeast. Tomorrow, 43 for the high, a few of those clouds, but we're going to see plenty of sunshine throughout your Saturday. And then on Sunday, we'll continue to see those dry, quiet, and sunny conditions, a little bit cooler along the lake. That's really going to continue to be the trend over the next few days here, just as we see those northeasterly wet winds in place. Here's a look at our 7-day forecast. So you can see we have that subtle warming trend going on. Keep in mind, usually we're still in those low 30s this time of year. So really going to be above average for the next 7 days and likely into the next week as well, looking at that 8 to 14 day outlook. So 43 tomorrow with plenty of sunshine in the forecast, a little bit cooler along the lake, and then we're going to stay in those low to mid 40s, and then 50s expected Thursday and Friday. That's when we finally see another chance of some rain in the forecast as well.
Man, flirting with 60. That's
yeah,
pretty
it's coming our
amazing.
way.
Thanks, Alyssa. And in case you're wondering where Tom is tonight, well, he had a pretty early morning.
Yes, our very own Tom Skilling headed out to Woodstock for Groundhog Day.
It's Groundhog Day! Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Skilling! You guys are amazing.
The world's most famous groundhog.
He's a rock star. They loved him in Woodstock. This is the first time he's had a chance to meet with Woodstock Willie, who came out to give his prediction.
So we've consulted with Woodstock Willie, and this February 2nd at 7:07 a.m., Woodstock Willie, the seer of seers, prognosticator of the prognosticators, emerged reluctantly but alertly in Woodstock, Illinois, to wish the faithful followers a happy Groundhog Day. Willie looked skyward to the east, then behind to the ground, and he stated clearly, "I definitely did not see my shadow today."
And no shadow means an early spring. Afterwards, Tom took some time to meet those who woke up very early to celebrate the day.
It looked like he had a really good time, and there's more because also coming up.
Yeah, I'll tell you how nice. Congratulations to all of you.
Yeah, you got to continue the celebrations of Groundhog Day. He made his way to Harry Carey's, where a special event honoring the movie starring none other than Bill Murray.
2 arrests after graffiti is found on dozens of floors of an apartment building under construction.
The Edgewater community still reeling from the shooting death of a teen near Senn High School. Coming up at 6, we're live at a balloon release honoring the life of Davion Gibson.
This is Chicago's very own WGN News.
At least 3 people have been killed and hundreds more hurt in a gas explosion in Kenya. Video from the scene shows a huge fireball exploding into the sky. Officials say a truck loaded with cylinders of liquid petroleum gas blew up inside a depot and ignited that inferno. At least 280 people hurt in the fire after the flames spread to nearby houses and warehouses. The death toll is expected to rise.
Police in Los Angeles arrested 2 men in connection with graffiti that now covers 27 floors of an unfinished luxury skyscraper. LAPD responded to the defunct development late Tuesday, where they saw more than a dozen suspects tagging the building with spray paint. Now, most of those taggers got away. Work on the $1 billion development stalled 5 years ago. The building has sat unfinished since then, and people have differing views on the graffiti.
It's a form of expression. It's just a form of releasing your stress. So it beautifies whatever empty wall you see out on the street.
First of all, it's unfinished and it's an eyesore. Second of all, they would probably bring a lot more jobs here.
The unfinished development sits across the street from the Crypto.com arena where the Grammys will be on Sunday. Well, check out this mess. Crews had to clean up fire suppression foam at Bush Intercontinental Airport in Houston after somebody accidentally released it at the United Airlines hangars. Crews used a defoaming agent. Houston fire officials say the foam posed no danger to the general public, but it reached 30 feet high in some places.
Just ahead at 5:30, a network outage for Lurie Children's Hospital reaches a 3rd day. The impact on patients.
Senator Dick Durbin reflects on an emotional hearing on Capitol Hill aimed at protecting kids on social media as he and others continue to push for change.
This is Chicago's very own WGN Evening News at 5.
A computer network outage at Lurie Children's Hospital now is being blamed on a cybersecurity matter, and it could take days or even weeks to fully come back online.
WGN's Kelly Davis is live in Streeterville with more. Kelly.
Good evening. The FBI has confirmed their involvement in helping Lurie Children's Hospital deal with this ongoing issue. We are now on day 3. This all started on Wednesday when employees reported having trouble accessing patients' records. Now, cybersecurity experts tell me it could take quite some time before everything is back up and running.
We couldn't make an appointment for 2 days.
The only choice is to come to the emergency room and see what happens. Hopefully we get seen soon.
Parents are scrambling to get their kids the care they need, and it hasn't been easy with all networks down at Lurie Children's Hospital.
All you have to do is hope that we're not at the ER for hours, because no one else can book appointments either.
The network outage impacts phone and internet service at the Streeterville Hospital, as well as Lurie's outpatient centers. Parents can't access their kids' online portal, and staff members say they can't make appointments, schedule procedures, or check test results.
Now, when you talk about a hospital, you talk about not only information, but also critical life support systems that could have a negative impact on someone's health or even life if those systems are taken offline.
Cyrus Walker is a local cybersecurity expert. He says this doesn't come as a surprise, as hospitals store an incredible amount of patient information, which is valuable.
It's more than just having the sophisticated security systems in place or the latest technology. It's also about how you operate. And I got to imagine if you take a deeper look at how Northwestern was managing the cybersecurity operations, you'll probably find some deficiencies there that allow the attacker to get in the first place.
Hospital officials say they're working with leading experts and law enforcement agencies to resolve the problem as soon as possible. They took network systems offline as part of their response. Experts say it stops the attack and helps preserve evidence for their investigation.
It sounds like the hospital did have in place both an incident response and a disaster recovery plan to help them to respond to a major cyber incident like this. And I would believe that they're probably executing both of those simultaneously right now.
Experts say we'll likely see the hospital slowly recover operations in the coming days and weeks, but it could be months before all systems are back up and running.
They're just going to have to be patient. Because we live in such a connected society, these things are going to be commonplace.
Hospital officials say they have been working to set up call centers for patients as well as community members and partners. No word yet on when that will be up and running. Reporting live from Streeterville tonight, I'm Kelly Davis, WGN News.
We'll stay on that. Thanks, Kelly. Some CTA and Metro passengers are getting free rides for a second day in a row because of problems with the Ventra app. Issues with that app started yesterday after a glitch prevented riders from viewing or buying available tickets. This fiasco came on the first day of Metra debuting several major changes to its ticketing system. Passengers are expressing their frustration with public transportation as they try to adjust to a slew of new policies.
Y'all stuff together. We pay too much money to ride the transportation for things like this to happen.
CTA and Metra are working with the vendor that operates the Ventra app to restore service to app users.
The boil order issued for South Suburban Dixmoor has been lifted as the village continues to deal with its crumbling water infrastructure. Village officials say there are currently no remaining breaks in that system. A dozen water mains broke around the village in the past week alone, flooding streets and causing headaches for residents. The mayor declared a state of emergency yesterday in an effort to draw attention to the severity of this problem. Some pipes in the area are well over 100 years old. Major repairs on that system began last spring. Illinois lawmakers could soon take up legislation that would eliminate the sub-minimum wage for tip workers across the state. Crane Chicago reports State Representative Elizabeth Hernandez plans to introduce a bill next week that would do away with the tipped wage across Illinois by 2025. Legislation is backed by the national advocacy group One Fair Wage, and that same group instrumental in getting Chicago's City Council to pass the One Fair Wage ordinance last October.
Illinois Senator Dick Durbin continues to make the case for tougher rules for social media to help protect kids from harmful content.
WGN's Gaynor Hall is in the Illinois Medical District with more on his efforts.
It was an experience that
will be with me for the rest of my life.
Senator Dick Durbin chairs the Senate Judiciary Committee, which held a hearing with 5 tech CEOs this week focused on how to protect children from child sexual abuse material and other harmful content and interactions on social media.
This is why we invested so much.
What I heard from the CEOs was just baloney, nonsense, nothing.
Robert and Rose Bronstein were there holding a picture of their son Nate. He was cyberbullied by classmates at Chicago's Latin School and died by suicide in 2022.
How many more children have to die before this urgent crisis is addressed?
Today, the Bronsteins joined Durbin at the Chicago Children's Advocacy Center, calling on lawmakers to act on a package of bills the committee passed unanimously, requiring more protections for children, including making it easier for victims and families to sue the platforms. If that happens, Durbin says,
They're going to change overnight. It's reality. It's money. It's all about money.
It is the responsibility of adults to protect children. Full stop.
Advocates urging social media executives to use their power and influence to protect children and encouraging parents to monitor their kids' activity and try to keep communication open.
Speak candidly with older children and youth about the issues and consequences around online activity.
What I want for parents to know is that no child is immune to any sort of social media related harm.
And Senator Durbin says he thinks this week's hearing will finally be the catalyst needed to get bipartisan legislation passed this year. Reporting from the near West Side, Gaynor Hall, WGN News.
Zach LaVine expected to miss additional time because of injury. Chris Bowden has the latest on that. Coming up next in sports.
A bald eagle spotted in Chicago. Coming up at 6. WGN's Aaron McElroy brings you along on the search for the bird.
Nope, that's fine. I'll just listen.
Chris Bowden here with us, looking ahead to the Bulls tomorrow.
Like the rest of us this time of year, sore, tired, and cranky. I think that's what kind of describes the Bulls right now. The injury report growing. The running of the Bulls these days is more like a dash to the trainer's room than the court. Kobe White's been added to the list of concerns ahead of tomorrow night's home date versus Sacramento with an ankle problem, even though veteran forward Torrey Craig could return after missing the last 6 weeks with a strained plantar fascia. Zach LaVine still hasn't rejoined his teammates on the practice court, and Billy Donovan today ruled him out ahead of next Thursday's trade deadline after his foot issues flared up again following a sprained ankle. And all the sprains and strains are putting a strain on those who have stayed healthy when it comes to minutes piling up.
Sometimes you have to make some changes, and guys have had to absorb a lot of minutes, just kind of the situation we're in until we get some guys back healthier. And Kobe's one of those guys that's probably absorbed a lot of minutes, so is DeMar. And AC's probably absorbed, a lot of minutes. But just kind of the hand we're dealt with and what we've got to do.
Shota is showing off his love for his new professional home since coming here over the holidays and prior to signing his 4-year contract with the Cubs. Japanese pitcher Shota Imanaga has become a regular at sporting events, hasn't been afraid to model the merch either. Now, if he can pitch well enough for Cubs fans to make a run on his jerseys, the team's $53 million investment will have paid off. Imanaga and other Cubs pitchers and catchers officially report to spring training in 12 days. We should get him a Skilling jersey, too. Theo Epstein headed back to the Red Sox. Kind of. He was Boston's GM prior to taking over for the Cubs 9 years ago, or for 9 years. Now, after 3 years as a consultant to Major League Baseball, he's become a part owner and senior advisor with the Fenway Sports Group, which owns the Red Sox, the NHL's Pittsburgh Penguins, and Liverpool FC of the English Premier League, among other sports organizations. National Sports Talk host Colin Cowherd is now clarifying comments he made yesterday about top quarterback prospect Caleb Williams not wanting the Bears to select him with their top overall draft pick. Now saying it's more about concerns with the Bears' poor history of developing quarterbacks and the fact his hometown Washington Commanders have the second pick and also have a need at the position. Meantime, NFL Pro Bowlers often bring family to the annual festivities. That's where Jets cornerback Sauce Gardner had to hear it from the 7-year-old nephew of Bills wide receiver Stefon Diggs, Aiden, who talked a little trash about his uncle catching a touchdown pass on Gardner in the season opener.
What's good, man? How you doing, man? I see you.
Uncle, I heard you.
Who your uncle? Who your uncle?
Keep going.
You want to talk trash about?
And look what happened.
What?
He scored on you that week 1 game.
I don't remember that, but hey, if you say he did, he did.
They start trash talking at a young age, and Stefan's brother Trayvon plays for the Dallas Cowboys, so that's his son. They start him early with all the
bringing it. Yeah. All right, Chris, appreciate it. All right, the groundhog looking for his shadow. What does it mean for an early spring? Well, it's going to feel a bit like it in the 7-day. Alyssa Donovan is back next with our look. But first,
a movie weatherman comes face to face with the real thing. The meeting between two Chicago icons next on WGN News.
Now the Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois Skycam 9 traffic update.
It is Groundhog Day still. The film about a cynical TV weatherman reliving February 2nd over and over until he gets it right is being celebrated at Navy Pier.
It is a great one. And WGN's Mike Lowe is joining us live tonight with more. Hi, Mike.
Ray and Micah, good evening to both of you. Harry Caray's Navy Pier hosted a reunion for the cast of the classic comedy, including the film's iconic star, Chicago's very own Bill Murray.
It's great to be here in the greatest city in the United States of America.
Bill Murray is back in Chicago to celebrate Groundhog Day.
It appears that we're going to have a very early spring. Let's hear it for that kind of news. Isn't that fantastic?
He attended the first official cast reunion in the 31 years since the film's release. It's been 10 years since the death of the film's director, Harold Ramis, and Murray reflected on his friendship with Ramis, which began at Second City in the 1970s.
We were looking out for each other. You know, in the beginning it wasn't so darn serious. You know, you did things for fun, and we were having fun. If we made each other laugh, it was okay. There'd be like a glint in your eye.
The city of Chicago recognized today as Harold Ramis Day.
Hereby declare the second day of February 2024, Groundhog Day, now forevermore in perpetuity, over and over again, to be Harold Ramis Day.
Afterward, Murray, who played the cynical weatherman Phil Connors,
Nice to meet you, Bill. I'll tell you.
met with the real-life forecaster, the always sunny Tom Skilling.
For the evening, what are we going to see?
Well, you know, we're all right. You know, the groundhog did not see a shadow up in Woodstock this morning.
And they remembered the brutal winter during the filming of Groundhog Day.
It's the worst winter ever.
I know. You
By
were
far,
talking
it wasn't
about
even close.
Oh, yeah, and McHenry County can have some real doozies up there, I'll tell you. Yeah.
And on Skilling's upcoming retirement, Murray basically said the weather itself should retire too.
I don't think we're going to have weather anymore. I don't see the point. I don't see the point of looking out the window anymore.
How about that? Bill Murray and Tom Skilling. That's an iconic meeting that we certainly could see happening over and over and over again. Reporting live from Navy Pier, Mike Lowe, WGN News.
Thank you, Mike. Wow, so the groundhog didn't see its shadow.
Yeah.
And that means we're going to have early spring.
Yeah.
Do you believe in that?
I do.
Do you?
I really do. Well,
You mean when there is an early spring?
I shouldn't say I believe in it, but it does seem like we're going to trend that way.
Right. Okay, good. Got me.
You have the science to back it up.
I was like, yes, I believe in the groundhog. No, I just think we're seeing those warmer temperatures. We're seeing that wetter trend, that El Nino. Temperatures this weekend going to be above average. Usually we're in those low 30s for our highs this time of year. So this weekend we're going to be about 10 degrees above average on Saturday and Sunday. And look at that, plenty of sunshine in the forecast. A little bit cooler along the lake over the weekend, and then we'll see some breezy conditions into early next week, and then we really start to climb as we head into Wednesday and Thursday. Low 50s, mid 50s by Thursday. Small chance of showers comes in late Thursday, and then we'll see a little bit more cloud coverage towards next weekend, but those temperatures really going to climb quite a bit in the latter half of next week. It's going to feel,
that Thursday,
dare I say, sort of warm.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Rising seas and frequent storms are taking their toll on California's iconic public piers. They're also raising questions about the future of the landmarks. Repairs have climbed into the millions in recent years for many communities, and more storms are expected to bring more damage during this El Nino season. City engineers are looking at redesigning some piers so they can withstand higher, more powerful waves, but the need for taller and stronger pilings could make them look more industrial.
Well, an asteroid believed to be roughly the size of Willis Tower is expected to pass by Earth today. No fear of it hitting here. It's nearly 2 million miles away, but NASA estimates that little ball of light could be more than 1,500 feet across. The Willis Tower is more than 1,400 feet tall, even without the antennas. Researchers have been tracking this asteroid going back to 2008. They say it'll make another farther pass near Earth in 2032.
Brookfield Zoo tiger undergoes a root canal. An inside look at this rare procedure at 6.
And McDonald's is bringing back Shamrock Shakes. The sweet treats return date new at 6.
Still to come at 5, a surge in job growth in January. A look at the numbers.
Cuomo tonight, East Palestine, 1 year later.
The massive train derailment.
The lingering concerns over health, homes, and the future. Cuomo tonight, 8/7 Central. To find News Nation, go to joinnn.com. Tonight, Dan's all-star panel is at it again, tackling all things crime, breaking down the details from Alex Murdaugh's retrial hearing, Jennifer Crumley's trial testimony, and the deepening mystery behind the deaths of 3 Kansas City Chiefs fans. That's tonight on Dan Abrams Live, starting at 9 Eastern. And to find News Nation, go to joinnn.com.
First jobs report for 2024 shows promising growth for the U.S. economy. New data shows the U.S. added another 353,000 jobs to the economy last month. Unemployment held at 3.7%, while average hourly wages continued to rise. The Biden administration is celebrating these numbers, saying they're not anticipating a looming recession. Several economists agree.
This is really the kind of report that says that there's economic opportunity out there, and we've seen that reflected in disposable income and consumer spending. All of this is moving in the right direction, and all of it means that our foundation is strong.
After holding rates steady since July, this week Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell hinted lower interest rates could be in the near future.
Well, Apple's officially entered the virtual reality market. The Apple Vision Pro headset hit shelves this morning. And Apple hopes that the futuristic goggles will usher in a new era of spatial computing. They basically described that as taking the computer's functions out of the computer and bringing it into our reality. Many ads have focused on how the headset could make work more productive, but it also includes games and entertainment options similar to headsets by Google and Meta. The Vision Pro headset starts at $3,500. Amazon is adding an artificial intelligence assistant for online shoppers. The e-commerce store will now include an assistant nicknamed Rufus. It's already in beta testing for a smaller group of shoppers. Rufus is well trained on the entire Amazon catalog, and it's loaded with common shopper questions and answers as well as customer reviews. A full rollout of Rufus is expected in a few weeks.
Target pulled a product that celebrates Black History Month from its shelves after a history teacher pointed out glaring mistakes. Civil rights magnetic learning activity misidentified several civil rights icons, including W.E.B. Du Bois, Booker T. Washington, and Carter G. Woodson. The teacher posted a video on TikTok comparing the product with historical photos. Target saying it has notified the maker of the magnet, Bendon Publishing, which hasn't commented on the errors. More than 300,000 Teslas are one step closer to a recall. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has upgraded its 2023 investigation into thousands of complaints about loss of steering control in Tesla's 2023 Model Y and 3 vehicles. Drivers report that loss of control is often accompanied by messages showing that power-assisted steering has been reduced or disabled.
As the advertising world gears up for the Super Bowl, experts are offering their predictions on what we can expect from this year's commercials. Experts say ads will take on a more feel-good tone than usual this year as brands try to navigate the hectic global political climate. Advertisers are expected to lean into fun and humor and really focus on more traditional products, kind of shifting away from things like cryptocurrency. Ads will again be dominated by the country's largest brands. Prices, by the way, for a 30-second spot cost up to $7 million.
A memorable moment from the NFL playoffs now getting immortalized.
Yeah, pretty memorable when Philadelphia Eagles center Jason Kelce came out shirtless to celebrate his brother Travis's touchdown against the Buffalo Bills. And now it's become a new limited edition Funko Pop figurine. But if you want one, you have to act fast. It's only on sale online until Monday at noon. And they say you won't lose your shirt to pay for it either. It costs about $25.
Let's take a live look outside. The WGN Evening News continues right after this.
Eight, 9, 10, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Right now at 6, a new phase in the Middle East crisis begins. The U.S. launching airstrikes in Iraq and Syria in response to the deaths of 3 American troops. New details, plus what President Biden is now saying.
Sun making a late day appearance, but will it stick around through the weekend? Alyssa Donovan's in for Tom tonight.
It is Groundhog Day. Did Woodstock Willie see his shadow? Tom Skilling has the answer ahead.
This is Chicago's very own WGN Evening News at 6.
Breaking tonight, the U.S. launching airstrikes against targets in Syria and Iraq in retaliation for the attack that killed 3 American troops.
And we want to get right to WGN's Jenna Barnes now with the latest details. Jenna?
Ray and Micah, we now know that in the span of about 30 minutes, U.S. forces struck more than 85 targets at 7 locations, 3 of those sites in Iraq, 4 in Syria. Some of the aircraft used were B-1 bombers flown in from the United States. The U.S. launched an air assault on dozens of sites in Iraq and Syria used by Iranian-backed militias, targeting command and control headquarters, intelligence centers, rockets and missiles, and drone and ammunition storage facilities, using both manned and unmanned aircraft. President Joe Biden saying in a statement, "Our response began today. It will continue at times and places of our choosing. The United States does not seek conflict in the Middle East or anywhere else in the world, but let all those who might seek to do us harm know this. If you harm an American, we will respond."
This is carefully choreographed, carefully focused, and I think designed to send a clear message without a dangerous escalation in what is already a very volatile situation.
Terrorism expert and DePaul University professor Tom Makaitis says the timing of the retaliatory strikes isn't coincidence. They began shortly after President Joe Biden joined grieving families at Dover Air Force Base as the remains of the 3 Army Reserve soldiers killed Sunday in a drone strike in Jordan returned home. Sergeant William Jerome Rivers, Sergeant Kennedy Sanders, and Sergeant Brianna Moffett are the first U.S. service members to be killed in combat since the war between Israel and Hamas began.
We will respond when we choose, where we choose, and how we choose.
The U.S. didn't make its plans to retaliate a secret this week.
They know they're going to be targeted, but how much can they actually move? Bases cannot be simply packed up and so on. Sure, it gives them the ability to scatter perhaps and go to ground as best as they possibly can. But then again, I don't think we're looking for a mass casualty kind of incident. We want to keep the use of force focused and measured.
And National Security Council spokesman John Kirby said in a call with reporters this evening, these targets were chosen to avoid civilian casualties, but with clear evidence they were connected to attacks on U.S. forces in the region. He says the goal here is to get those attacks to stop. Ray and Micah.
Thank you, Jenna. Meantime, Hamas is considering a new proposal to pause the fighting in Gaza and release more hostages. This proposed deal would call for an extended pause in the fighting. Hamas would then release some of its hostages in exchange for Palestinians being held in Israel. The group abducted 250 people in the initial attack on Israel. Dozens are still being held. The senior Hamas official says the organization will respond soon. According to a Hamas-run agency, more than 27,000 people have been killed in Gaza since the fighting began.
New tonight at 6, support in the U.S. for the war in Gaza could be waning. The Associated Press poll found about half of adults in the U.S. think Israel's war in Gaza has gone too far. That's up from 40% in November. Overall, 31% of adults approve of President Biden's handling of the conflict, including just 40% of Democrats. Breaking news tonight, one person has been shot on North Wabash. The Chicago Fire Department telling us the victim is an adult. The wounded person is at Northwestern Hospital in stable condition right now. No information yet on what led to that shooting. We will bring you updates as they become available.